6:25 now on this Wednesday morning. Hope you're waking up well and hope you like rain because we're getting a lot of it this morning. This is the Broadway extension. If you're about to head this way, tracking waves of rain throughout Wednesday. Pockets of rain kind of depending on where you're waking up, where you're traveling to today. Also seeing some ponding and a flood watch in effect for most of the day. Shelby Hayes standing by right now in that First Alert Weather Center. But first we do want to get to this because President Trump visited Puerto Rico yesterday to survey the devastation caused by Hurricane Maria. The president was on the ground passing out supplies to those in need. You see him, tossing out some paper towels here. And Mr. Trump also met with first responders, local officials, thanking people like Puerto Rico's governor who praised the federal response.
President Trump's trip comes 2 weeks after the storm knocked out power to that entire island. We know some parts won't see power for another 10 months. During the trip, the president told residents that the devastation in Puerto Rico is causing problems for the U.S. budget. President Trump is already up this morning and tweeting about his trip to Puerto Rico, and this is what he has to say. He said, "A great day in Puerto Rico yesterday. While some of the news coverage is fake, most showed great warmth and friendship."
All right, back here in Oklahoma, what we are seeing this morning is multiple rounds of rain moving through. We had heavy rain move through overnight. Now that is across northern and northeastern Oklahoma, and our next round of rain intensifying just to the south and west of Oklahoma City. We'll talk about when this moves in and what it could do to your morning commute coming up in your First Alert forecast.
Wow. Testing 1 2 3 4. Mic check. 1 2.
Hey, yeah, I can hear you.
You're watching KOCO 5. Breaking news is happening now.
And we are following several breaking news stories for you this morning. The first, a man found dead in a car near Northwest 27th in Portland. Police telling us he did have a gunshot wound. We're going to continue and let you know what that investigation discovers there.
Plus, a home goes up in flames. This happened near Southwest 29th and Penn. Officials say some items found at that home are suspicious. What they are telling us this morning.
And an early morning wreck that could impact your morning commute. A semi-truck jackknifed on I-44 near Lake Hefner Parkway, with part of it hanging off the bridge. What that semi was carrying and how those people in the cab are doing this morning.
And let's take us outside. We're also following some really heavy rain this morning. This could cause some major backups for your morning commute. You're taking at 4 different live looks at some of those roads out there across the metro right now. We'll get right to Shelby in just a second, and our crews out there on those roads monitoring them for us. But first, do want to say good morning to Oklahoma. Thanks for waking up with us. I'm Markie Martin.
And I'm Maggie. Carlo. Meteorologist Shelby Hayes has been very busy over there. Shelby, you say this rain's going to come in waves today.
That's right. And in Oklahoma City right now, we're in a bit of a break, which is good news. Some of you can get to work and not have to deal with the heavy rain coming down. However, the roads are wet. It may be a little hard to see there in our Moore camera, but heavy rain moved through overnight. And because of that, the roads are wet this morning. And we're also tracking our next round of rain that is moving through. That's going to impact the later part of the morning commute. This is what radar looks like right now. Dry in OKC. You see the heavy rain just to our north and west. That is some of what moved through here overnight last night, and then rain developing to the south and west. We do have meteorologist Michael Armstrong out in First Alert Storm Command for us this morning. Michael, you're here on the west sides of Oklahoma City getting ready for that second round of rain to move in.
Right, Shelby. The rainfall so far across most of the metro would call it basically on the light side, but what we're looking at is the rain that's moving in. So we're seeing the rainfall rates really pick up out west near Clinton, Weatherford, and also down near Chickasha as well. And all that's lifting to the north and to the east. So that's moving back into the metro. We're starting to see some rain now back on the west side of Yukon, just past Garth Brooks Boulevard, west on I-40, and rain is already picking up once again here on the west side of the metro. So yeah, get ready for a wet commute and watch out. There's been several accidents already this morning. Shelby, back to you.
Thanks for being out with us this morning, Michael. We certainly appreciate it. This is some of that rain that he was talking about. We've been watching this really developing and strengthening as it moves off to the north this morning from Surreal out towards Lake Chickasha. Chickasha right now, some light rain, but some heavier rain going to be moving in. Also starting to see scattered showers developing out ahead of this up towards Minco and El Reno, then back out towards Fort Cobb, Carnegie, some pockets of heavy rain. That will move off to the north and east and move into Oklahoma City. And then check out this really heavy rain from Clinton over to Weatherford. These are the types of showers and storms that are moving through and dropping anywhere between a 1/4 inch of rain and in some spots over an inch of rain in just an hour. So some really heavy rain possible as we go throughout the day today. I want to show you where some of that heavy rain is falling right now from Kearney up towards Ripley. And you see where it's popping these really dark red colors. That's where you're going to have those downpours from Kendrick up to Cushing, even seeing some lightning and thunder in that area. And then across northern Oklahoma, where some spots have already picked up over 2 inches of rain in Red Rock this morning. We'll go over the rest of the day's forecast as well as the rest of this week's forecast. More rain on the way. It's all coming up in your First Alert forecast.
All right, thank you so much. We appreciate that, Shelby. And now we want to check in with KOCO's Russell Jones. He is at I-44 and MLK, giving us the very latest there on that scene. Russell? Russell, you there? We can see your shot. Can you hear us?
Hey guys, sorry once again I delayed there. But yeah, we're on I-44. We're coming up on Penn. We're going westbound, and we do have a little bit of rain here. It's not as bad in this area, but we are heading towards Chickasha to check in on the conditions down there. Shelby said that there's a lot of rain expected there, so we are headed that way. But the roads are still wet. They're not as bad as they were, but I'm sure that's going to continue to change as more of that rain rolls in. But we'll continue to keep you posted while we're out here, guys. Back to you, Markie and Maggie.
All right, Russell, thank you. And by the look of it there, it looks like everybody's going at least somewhat normal speeds this morning. Also, let's get back to this. Breaking overnight, a semi jackknifed on a busy interstate.
And KOCO's Alex Houston is near I-44 and Lake Hefner. Alex, what's the very latest there?
So right now we are under Northwest 39th, and if you guys take a look at this, everything's clear right now. So the semi jackknife right up here on Northwest 39th, but fire trucks, they're cleared out. We're just waiting for the road to reopen. I want to show you guys this over here though. This is part of the cab from that semi when it jackknifed. We do note that 2 people were in that semi. They are safe. They got out okay, so we do know that everything's good there. So like I said, really just kind of waiting for Northwest 39th to reopen. The ramp onto I-44 next to May Avenue was moved down to 1 lane. It is still that way right now, so just be aware of this if you guys are heading out the door this morning, that things just moving really slow in this area over here. We're live near Northwest 39th. I'm Alex Houston, KOCO 5 News. Markie, Maggie.
Alex, thank you. Also breaking this morning, a man found dead in a truck near Northwest 27th and Portland.
And KOCO's Russell Jones, he has been all over the place this morning. He was there on the scene earlier. Russell, what can you tell us?
Police said they got a call that an active shooting was going on in this neighborhood right here. Now, this is near Northwest 27th in Portland. They said when they arrived, they found a car that had wrecked into a light pole. Once they got closer to the car, they actually found a man that was dead inside. There were 2 female passengers also standing near the car. They had been in the car when the wreck happened. There was also a 3rd witness. Now, they said they questioned all 3 of these witnesses. Those witnesses aren't sure what happened. They just said that there was some shooting going on. So police are trying to figure out exactly what happened here. They do know that there's 1 dead male inside that car, so it's an ongoing investigation. We'll continue to keep you posted throughout the morning as soon as we get more information. Reporting near Northwest 27th in Portland, Russell Jones, KOCO 5 News. Back to you, Maggie and Markie.
Russell, thank you. And we're also following a house fire from the overnight hours. Oklahoma City crews responded to the home near Southwest 29th and Penn. Let's show this to you here. When they arrived at the scene, they noticed heavy smoke damage kicked in that door. They tell us they also smelled gas and saw a gas can, but luckily nobody was home at the time.
Get down!
New video is now being released from Las Vegas. Police body camera video from the moment of that deadly Sunday night shooting. Las Vegas police giving us a glimpse at the response to that rapid gunfire from the Mandalay Bay Hotel that killed 58 people and injured more than 500. This, of course, happening at that country music festival. In the video, you can see and hear the officers trying to figure out where the gunfire is coming from as they tell each other to stay down. The first call came in around 10:08. Paddock fired on concert goers for, they say, about 9 to 11 minutes. And we are also learning more about the gunman, Stephen Paddock. Of course, he's pictured right here. He checked into the Mandalay Bay Resort last Thursday. He brought 10 suitcases packed with 23 guns. Police say he set up at least 2 cameras, one monitoring the hallway on a service cart, the other inside his room. Now, right now, more than 100 people remain in the hospital, 31 of them in critical condition. Doctors say recovery from this trauma alone will not take days or weeks, that it will take years.
Oh, can't even imagine for these people. And did want to mention this, investigators have now identified all but 3 of the people killed in the shooting at that country music festival Sunday night. We're still waiting for those 3 victims to be identified, but we have some of the photos here just playing out behind me, these innocent faces. We're seeing images of the deadly arsenal inside of the room, including an assault rifle with a scope, the barrage of bullets lasting 9 to 11 minutes. Like Maggie just said, you see, it looks like he ordered room service to his room, put a camera inside of that peephole. Investigators are now calling the gunman's girlfriend a person of interest in this case. Can tell you she's back in the United States this morning. She was in the Philippines when that shooting happened. And now the FBI wants Las Vegas shooting victims to know there is help available. On the FBI's website, there's a questionnaire that victims can fill out, and that survey will lead them to resources in their home state, so wherever they're from. And Iowa's FBI victim specialist says all victims deal with trauma in their own way and may need different kinds of help.
There's no one fix-it solution for everyone. We all have to work through it and process it in the best way that we can. But just to know that Iowa has a lot of really great professionals that are willing and able to help.
Officials asked for mental health counselors to offer their services for those victims in Las Vegas to help them cope with this tragic event. Of course, we will be sure to bring you all the latest numbers, the newest details on the gunman as we learn them. But the numbers stand at this: 58 dead, 530 injured. Now is a good time to make sure you have the KOCO mobile news app. That is where you can find more coverage on this historic massacre. Let's get us out the door, take another look at First Alert traffic this morning, tracking several different accidents across the metro. Maybe it's because of all this wet weather we're tracking. The first, I-44 and Northwest 10th. Put that on the map for you right here. Just keep that in mind. The second is going to be near I-35 and I-40 if you're about to head that way. Could slow down things a bit for you for your morning commute, and that's the area right there you can see in red. These routes are in the green. I-240 to downtown, that'll take you just 5 minutes. Midwest City to downtown, 13. Norman to OKC, if you're driving that right now, expect a 19-minute route.
Shocking claims coming from an OU student. What he is saying members of a fraternity did to him that is causing him to sue.
And we're waking up this morning to rain moving across the area. Heavy rain has already moved through central Oklahoma, now getting a break, but more rain just to the south and west of OKC moving in as we go throughout the next couple of hours that could impact your morning commute. The details and everything you need to know for today's forecast up next in your First Alert.
Yeah, and Shelby, this is really going to impact a lot of people, so let's take it back out to First Alert Storm Command right now. Michael Armstrong is at I-40 in El Reno. You can see his windshield wipers still going this morning, heading back onto those major roads, just checking out that wet weather. Keep in mind, it's going to be pockets of rain throughout the day. Keep that in mind, grab the gear before you head out the door this morning.
Live, local, late breaking. This is KOCO 5 News at 6 with Markie Martin, Maggie Carlo, and meteorologist Shelby Hayes.
I know you're busy this morning. Come to your screen, take a look at these routes that you possibly could be driving this morning. We have First Alert Storm Command on I-40 in El Reno, and then we also have KOCO's Russell Jones. He is live on Portland right now. You can see both routes are very wet. Just keep in mind, hydroplaning not impossible this morning. We've seen some wrecks. Just keep that in mind. Slow it down before you head out the door for work.
Well, shocking claims coming from a University of Oklahoma student. That student saying he was hazed by members of the fraternity Beta Theta Pi. Blake Novacek says in 2015, a member knocked him unconscious with a baseball bat and another tried to force a cover-up. He says one of those members got angry when he couldn't recite fraternity facts and hit him in the stomach with a bat. He says that caused him to fall and hit a hard object which knocked him unconscious. Novacek is seeking $75,000. 2 Subway restaurants robbed on the same night. A former employee tells us about being at one of those Subways when that suspect ran in. Take a look. It was caught on surveillance camera, and it's only going to be seen right here on KOCO 5. That suspect demanded money from the clerk, armed with a box cutter. The mother of 7 has since quit her job there, saying safety at the restaurant was a big concern.
I'm very thankful that I am okay. I will be okay, but I would like for things to be done to prevent somebody else to have to go through it.
And like you heard her say there, she hopes that changes will be made to stop this type of event from ever happening again.
6:45, we do have an update for you this morning on the Oklahoma woman shot in that tragic Vegas massacre. Shelby Perry, just 22 years old, was shot in the shoulder, and the bullet actually fragmented inside of her body. So family members are telling us she won't need surgery after all. And right now, doctors are treating her with antibiotics, physical therapy. We're told they hope to release her soon so that her family can come back here to Oklahoma. She is from Beaver. Her family says Shelby is extremely strong emotionally and handling the entire tragedy the best that she can, and you have an entire state rallying behind you, Shelby. Also, Jason Aldean, who was on stage when the first shots were fired, has canceled the next 3 shows of his tour. All 3 of those were scheduled for California. That tour will resume next week up in Tulsa, here in our home state. Aldean says it's a very emotional time for everybody and that this decision was the right one to make. But you know, impossible to even imagine what it'll be like for him to perform in front of large crowds again.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm glad he's going to be here in Oklahoma.
Me too. We wish him the best. Well, a Metro man making it big on Wheel of Fortune Tuesday. We're excited for this guy. His name is Joseph Pugh. He solved a puzzle and will now get to take a trip to Hawaii that he won right there on that show.
So cool. And we caught up with Joseph at a watch party last night. He tells us this was a bucket list item for him, a moment in time captured.
It's been about 6 years now in the making. I've tried out 3 times. Once I tried out at Kickapoo, once at Lucky Star, and this last time was at Newcastle. You have to wait 18 months in between trying out, and the wheelmobile only comes around like once every 2 years.
You go, Joseph. He tried out, 6 years this thing's been in the making. 3 times he tried out. Perseverance paid off. Now, he didn't win the big old bonus part of that round deal. However, he got $16,800 and a trip to Hawaii, so he won.
Yeah, he'd take it. Yeah, he's laughing all the way to the bank this morning. We're excited for him. Yeah, 3rd time's the charm, and it's a process to get through on Wheel of Fortune.
That's awesome.
Shelby Hayes, let's send it over to you. What are you tracking this morning in terms of that rain?
You know, we've got rain across the state. A couple of different rounds of rain here showing up on radar now. While Oklahoma City has been getting a break here over the last hour or so, the heaviest of the rain in northeastern Oklahoma, more rain developing just to the south and west of OKC that will move through as we go throughout this morning. Meteorologist Michael Armstrong out for us this morning on the west sides of OKC out towards El Reno. Let's check in with Michael. He's out in First Alert Storm Command. Michael, good morning to you, and I can see the rain coming down there on your windshield.
Yeah, little pockets of moderate rain right now out in the El Reno area. Much heavier rain, in fact, a heavy thunderstorm out near Weatherford and Clinton right now. So Shelby, it's occurring, but it's in little pockets where this rain is moderate to even intense at times. So when the water, you know, when it comes down that fast and these rain cores are that heavy, that's when we really need to watch out. We're going to watch this next band as it moves up I-44 up toward the metro from Chickasha up northeast into Oklahoma City and toward El Reno, Yukon, Mustang. Back to you.
All right, thanks, Michael. Again, we appreciate you being out for us. This is exactly where Michael is, right there in El Reno, and you see all of that rain he was talking about just to the south and west of there. I want to zoom in, show you what's going on here from Anadarko over towards Lake Chickasha, now getting into the west sides of Chickasha as well. This is going to be that moderate rain with those pockets of heavier rain embedded in it. We've also got scattered showers, and at times that will be heavy rain moving through from Fort Cobb all the way up to Binger. All of this moves off to the north and east towards El Reno, towards Yukon, OKC as well. And this is that thunderstorm Michael mentioned in Weatherford to Custer City. Lightning, thunder, and some blinding rain going to be in this. We've seen some rain totals, some rain rates this morning, which is how much rain is falling, basically how fast it's falling, that are very high. Some spots have picked up over an inch of rain in 1 hour. So that is some really quick amounts as far as picking up the rain. And that was actually up around Red Rock. This morning, they've picked up over 2 inches of rain, and in fact, a flood warning there in in that area. So be aware of that if you are in the Red Rock area this morning and going to be getting out as we go throughout the next couple of hours, that you may still be seeing water on the roads as rain continues to come down in Ponca City, Marlin, back down towards Sooner Lake. And you see all of this red. This is going to be those areas that you expect to see the really heavy rain now from Stillwater up towards Glencoe, back down towards Ripley, and also even into Pawnee. As you continue to go farther south, this is out around Agra, Cushing, and back out towards Shamrock too. So all of that moving off to the north and east. If you are going to be traveling to Tulsa this morning, be prepared to drive through all of that. A flood watch in effect central and south central Oklahoma until 7 p.m. But you see this brighter green color, that's that flood warning that's in effect from Red Rock down to Perry. That's until 7:45 this morning. So watching that, the rain chances continue throughout the day. They will start to go down by evening time, but multiple rounds of rain move through today. It's not necessarily that it's going to rain all day, but we continue with those chances. Temperatures in the 70s this morning, and they won't change much at all as we go throughout the day. Low to mid 70s for our temperatures. South winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. And as I mentioned, those rain chances continuing not just this morning, but even into this evening. Then they start to come down some. As we go into tomorrow, the rain chances will be higher across northwestern Oklahoma. But then as we go into Friday, those rain chances right back up here in central Oklahoma. And in fact, it's several days here before we have a totally dry day across Oklahoma City. We have rain chances and at least some shape or form from today all the way into Monday. Now you're up to date on the latest First Alert forecast.
Shelby, thank you. And following our state of addiction, Oklahoma Attorney General Mike Hunter joining forces to help our state's growing opioid epidemic. Hunter signed a letter asking Congress to reform a Medicaid provision that would make it easier for those struggling with addiction to get the treatment they need.
Our hope is that this legislation will allow coverage to exist for these facilities, and that'll free up Social Security money, CHIP money, and those kind of facilities can be available to people who are challenged financially.
Hunter is one of 38 attorneys general who signed that letter to Congress.
Helping adults with special needs. The Dale Rogers Training Center in Oklahoma City aims to help teach and employ those people, but its funding is at risk if lawmakers don't figure out how to get our state budget back on track. So today on KOCO 5 News at 9 o'clock, I'm sitting down with that organization. If you have questions or concerns, please send those to my Facebook or Twitter pages. I will see those myself and I will get those answered live for you at 9.
And want to get you out the door with your First Alert traffic. Several accidents across the metro. I-44 and Northwest 10th is one spot. Again, I-44, Northwest 10th. Also I-40 and I-35. Also a spot that you're going to want to watch for your morning commute. Now, I want to show you your drive times here. Okay, so lots of rain across the area, still in the green, but you know that will change. I-240 to downtown, 6 minutes. Midwest City to downtown OKC at 13 minutes, and then Norman to Oklahoma City at 21 minutes. Well, we have all seen that movies, that tug at our heartstrings and maybe even make you shed a tear. Well, new research says your odds of crying during a movie go up depending on where you are. The surprising place you're more likely to tear up, and this truly is surprising. We'll tell you coming up.
Yeah, because I cry everywhere. Yeah. It doesn't matter for me. But hey, let's track this rain again this morning. Let's take it outside. This is from KOCO's Russell Jones. He is on I-44 near 59th Street, just tracking those wet roads. Again, you're going to be seeing it in and out throughout the day, depending on where you live or where you work. Shelby Hayes standing by. That final check of your forecast and your traffic coming up after this short break.